we're gonna go over how to simplify fractions, and the way we're gonna do that is we need to find the greatest common factor. Okay? So this is our objective today. Paula, can you read it first?
Objective: I will be able to simplify fractions by finding the greatest common factor.
Perfect, Luz.
The objective is I will be able to simplify fractions by finding the greatest common factor.
And Nick.
Objective: I will be able to simplify and
Fractions.
fractions by finding the greatest common factor.
Good. So before we start, let's make sure we understand what simplify means and what greatest common factor means. So let's start with simplify. What does simplify mean? Paola, what do you think simplify means?
Simplifying means to make it simpler.
Yeah, to make a fraction simple, right? To make, do you guys agree? To make a fraction simple. And then our next one is greatest common factor. We also say GCF. We abbreviate it as greatest common factor. But let's think about what is a factor. When we think about the number 8, what are the factors of 8? Tell your neighbor.
Okay.
You tell me, what's a factor?
A factor is a number. It's like the multiple of the
You can make multiple. I mean, multiply it by the number it's being multiplied.
Okay, so Paula, what did your partner tell you?
My partner Luz told me that a factor is a multiple of the number.
Okay, so can you give me an example?
Oh, 8 and 15.
8 and 15?
8.
So what are the factors of 8?
1 and 8, 2 and 4.
1 and 8 and 2 and 4. Do you guys agree? Are those the factors of 8?
Yes.
Yeah. So they're the factors of 8 because 1 times 8 equals 8. 2 times 4 equals 8. Perfect. So before we start, as we simplify fractions, we need to find the greatest common factor first to simplify the fraction. Okay? So let's start with this example, and we're going to use this chart. Let's start with this example. What's the fraction? 8 twelfths. 8 twelfths. And we're going to use, good, you wrote 8 on one side and 12 on the other side. So what are we listing? Luz, what are you listing?
I'm listing the factors.
Okay, of 8 and 12, right?
Yeah.
Nick, what are the factors of 8?
1 times 8.
Good.
2 times 4.
Is that it? Paula, what are the factors of 12?
There's over 1 and 12, 2 and 6, and 3 and 4.
2 and 6 and 3 and 4. So let's underline. Wait, you're getting ahead of me. Let's underline or circle all the numbers that they have in common. So 2, they have 2 in common. What else do they have in common?
That's it. And 4.
And 4. But which one is the greatest common factor?
4.
Which one is the biggest number they have in common? Which
4.
one is it?
4.
4. So the GCF equals 4, correct? Do you agree?
Yes.
Now what do I do?
Now you divide 4 and 4 out of 4.
I divide 4 out of 4.
No, when you 8,
Okay.
8 out of
Hold
12
on.
divided by 4 out of 4.
So 8 twelfths, I'm going to divide it by 4. 4 over 4. What's 8 divided by 4, Nick?
8 divided by 4 is 2.
Paula, what's 12 divided by 4?
3.
So what So 8 twelfths, if we wanted to write it as a simple form, what's our fraction?
2 and 2 and 3.
2/3. Okay, 2/3. So the first step is we have to list all the factors of the numbers. The second step, we circle the numbers they have in common. And then the third step, we divide it by the greatest common factor. Okay? Now, let's use our fraction to show 8 twelfths and 2/3. Okay? So let's get 8 twelfths. First, show me 8 twelfths. Okay, let's see. 8 twelfths. I'm going to do mine right here. You got it, Nick? Don't miss the pieces. Once you show 8 twelfths, I want you to show 2/3. You have 8 twelfths, Nick?
And what? Yeah.
And then you're going to show me 2/3 right on top of 8 twelfths. 2/3. Where's the third? 2/3. So here's one. And here's the other one. Okay, Paula, I see you're done. Okay, so by looking at this, what can you say about 8 twelfths and 2/3? What can we say about them? Is one bigger than the other?
No.
No.
So is 2/3 bigger than 8 twelfths? What do we call these two fractions? What do tell your right? 2/3 is the simplest form of 8 twelfths. But if they're both the same, there's a word we call that. What's that word? Both fractions are equal, equivalent. They're both equivalent fractions. So I don't want you to think that, oh, just because 2/3, these two numbers are smaller than 8 and 12, it means that this fraction is smaller. Okay? I don't want you to think that, because they're both equal fractions. They're both the same, and you see it here, right? They're equal. Okay? Next one. Put your fractions to the side. Put them to the side, because we're going to go back to using our chart. You can erase it. And I'm going to give you another fraction I want you to simplify. What's the next one on there? 6/10. So let's simplify 6/10. Okay, so I'm going to write the 6 here, the 10 here, and now we're going to list the factors. Luz, can you help me list the factors of 6? What are they?
The factors of 6 are 1 times 6
Mm-hmm.
and 2 times 3.
Nick, can you help me list the factors of 10?
1 times 10 and 2 times 5.
Okay. What is their greatest common factor?
2.
2. What's my next step, Paula?
The next step is that you have to just
Mm-hmm.
and you have to try to divide it.
Divided by what? 6 divided by what?
Divided by 2.
Okay. And what do I get? Luz, what's 6 divided by 2?
Yeah. 3. 5.
Perfect. So that's for number 1. List of factors of 6 and list the factors of 10, and then write the simplest form of 6/10. Okay? That's for number 1. You listed the factors of 6, list the factors of 10, and then write the simplest form. Okay, ready for the next one?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Luz, can you read the next one?
Right here.
Yep, number 2.
6 out of 8.
So can you say 6/8?
6/8.
Okay, so we're gonna find the factors of 6 and 8. And just stop after you've listed the factors, stop. Okay. Nick, what are the factors of 6?
1 times 6 and 2 times 3.
Luz, what are the factors of 8?
1 times 8 and 2 times 4.
Paula, what's the greatest common factor?
The greatest common factor is 6. I mean, what? 3 times.
Oh, you wrote 18. It's 6/8. So by looking at my chart, what's the greatest common factor?
The greatest common factor is 2.
Yes, 2. So GCF equals 2. Now what am I going to do, Luz?
Now you're going to divide 2.
I'm going to divide 6/8.
6/8
So you're going to divide 6/8,
and 2.
divided by
Divided by 2, 8.
2 over 2.
2.
Okay? Nick, what's 6 divided by 2?
3,
Luz, what's 8 divided by 2?
4.
Okay, can you guys show me with your fractions on this one? 6/8 and 3/4. Just how we did the last one. So 6/8. Let's see, 6/8. Good. Good job, Anna. Let me get all mine. 6/8. And good, 3/4. Paula, what can you tell me about these two fractions?
That they're equivalent, that they're the same.
How do you know they're equivalent?
They're equivalent because they fit on top of each other.
Right. They're exactly the same size, right? Nick, what can you tell me about both fractions?
They're the same.
What's that other word we use?
They're
They're both what? Starts with an E.
Equivalent.
Yeah, they're both equivalent fractions, right? Luz, what can you tell me about both fractions?
They're the same and they're equivalent.
Mm-hmm. Good. So I don't want you guys to think, right, that this number is smaller than that one, okay? They're equal fractions. And if you look at it, you can also check this by saying 4 times 2, is it 8? Does it equal 8? You can work backwards. 3 times 2, does it equal 6? Yep. Okay. Ready? I want you to try number 3 on your own. Try number 3, and that's 6/18. So 6/18. Find the factors first. Did you find it? Okay. Let me see. Wait, no, it's fine. I just want to check something. What was the greatest common factor? What was the greatest common factor?
6.
Okay, so right next to it, you can write the GCF. Good. Don't go on to the next one because I want to go over it. Okay, we're just going to go over it. Make sure you did it correctly. And, okay, write the GCF right underneath. Well, what's a GCF? What was the greatest common factor?
3.
Okay, so write it right there. Did you write your greatest common factor? Okay. And then let's just wait for Nick and then we can go over it, okay? Ready? Okay. Eyes up here. Paula. Paula. Thank you. Okay. Factors of 6. Luz?
1 times 6 and 2 times 3.
Is that it? Yes? Factors of 18. Nick?
Factors of 18 is 2 times 18. I mean 1 times 18.
1 times 18.
2 times 9.
2 times 9.
3 times 6.
3 times 6. What's the greatest common factor, Paula?
My greatest common factor is 6.
Okay, good. Is that what you guys all got? That the greatest common factor was 6? Luz, what did you get?
I got 2.
What was your greatest common factor? What was your greatest common factor?
6.
What did you get?
3.
3. You got, oh, okay. So you miss, okay, so look, you wrote them down correctly, but they both have 6 in common. Okay? So now, Nick, what did you do after you found the greatest common factor?
I divided
What did you divide?
6 and 8. I mean 6 and 6. Oh my god. 6 and 18
Okay, 6/18.
divided by 6
Good. Why 6?
because that's the greatest common factor.
Perfect. Paula, what did you get? 6 divided by 6?
I got 1/3.
So what's 6 divided by 6?
1. 3.
Good. So it was 1/3. Luce, okay, good, you fixed it. Okay. I want you to do number 4, but I want you to take turns. So I want Luz to do number 4, because you guys are going to pair up. I want Luz to do number 4, and she's going to explain to you exactly the steps she's doing, and you're listening to her, okay? Nick, you're going to explain to me the steps you're doing for number 4, okay? So make sure you're listening to your partner. Okay, Luz, you may start.
Okay.
All right, Nick, tell me what you're doing.
And then you put 1.
So what's the first thing you're doing?
I'm doing the first step is 1 times 15 because 1 times 15 equals 15.
So you're listing the factors first, okay?
15, so it's
And then
3 times 5.
2 times,
And then 40, the
I mean
factor
3
of 40
times
is
5
1 times
because
40.
3 times 5 equals
And
15.
2
Okay, good.
times
And then
times
we're going
20.
to move on to
To list,
2
uh-huh.
times 20.
To list the factors of 40.
And then if you don't
Good.
know,
1
And
times
then
40
it
and
is
then
0.
2
So
times
it's 20.
2 times
So
10 20
Good.
for
and
for
then
220 is for 5 times
5 times
9. I mean no, 5 times 8
Good.
And then you look for
Are you done?
you look for
And
the
then
common.
the biggest common factor is 5. And then what I do, I put
So the biggest common factor is 5.
C.
So
F
Good.
is 5. And then
Good.
you divide it, and it's
divide
5
and
5. And
Mhm.
it will equal 3.
Divided by what?
5 because
That
it's the
will be
greatest
3
common factor.
eighths.
Perfect.
And
Give me a second. He's almost done.
equal 3 and then 8.
Perfect. How did she do, Paula?
Good.
Did she get it correct? Did she get 3/8? Good. Okay, now I want you to switch. Paula, you're gonna explain to Luz how to simplify 8/30ths. Okay? Nick?
Do I follow her?
Yeah, you can follow her, but also make sure you're listening to her. Okay? Did you guys write? You wrote it on number 4? Perfect. Okay,
Okay,
I
so
want you to try number 5 again. You did a great job explaining everything on number 4, so try it again.
so first you have to put the numbers on the top.
First, what do you have to do?
Then you have to
1 times
you have to
8
find the
because
factor
it equals
that
8.
you can easily multiply it by.
Okay, so 1
So
times 8.
1 times
And
8,
then
you
2
can do 1
times 4.
times
Good.
8, and 2
And
times
then
4,
you
and
move on
that's
to
it.
30.
Okay, 30.
And then you have 1 times 30,
And then 2 times 50.
and then you have 30
Mhm.
times
And
10.
then
No. Because there's
3
something that
times
multiplies
10.
Good.
That's
And
16. So
The
then 16
GCF
equals,
is
equals 30.
Is there one more factor of 30?
Yes.
5? How about 5?
5 times 6.
Okay.
And the greatest common factor is 2.
Okay.
So then what is
So GCF is 2.
Perfect.
And then I divide 8 and 30.
So 8/30 divided by what?
2. And it equals 4
Good.
and 15.
Perfect. Luz, what did Paola get? What was
4/5.
4/5?
No, 4/15.
4/15. Good. Okay, so let's stop there. I want you to explain to me what you learned today. What did you learn today, Luz?
We learned about
Today I learned.
Today I learned greatest common factor in simplest fraction.
How to simplify fractions. Okay. What did you learn, Paula?
Today I learned to simplify a fraction to spell a number. Also that sometimes the numbers are the same, like they're equal and equivalent to each other.
Good. So you learned that the fraction that you get at the end and the fraction that you originally began with are equivalent fractions? Good job. Nick, what did you learn today?
Today I learned is how to do equivalent fractions
Mm-hmm.
and how to divide
The fractions?
the fractions by their result.
By the greatest common
Yeah.
factor, right?
The greatest
Did
common
using
factor.
this chart help?
Yes.
Okay. So if you want to keep using it in class, you may. Okay? Alrighty.